There is one and only question, one question you have to ask. What am I missing? If you're right about what was going on and how things worked, you'll be getting certain results, and you're not. Therefore, you're wrong. You don't know how or about what. So step back and go, okay, cool. What am I missing here? Because something doesn't line up, something's not working. What is the gap? What's not lining up? And just start questioning how stuff works.
Welcome to the Mindful Hustle, where we decode the mindset behind momentum. I'm Donnie, and if you've ever felt like you're doing all the right things but not seeing the right results, this show will help you shift that out the root. Here's something wild. Psychologists have found that our belief systems are formed by age 7, and most people never update them. So your business could be running on an outdated inner code. Here at Reality Realization Institute, we help you rewrite that internal script to reflect who you truly are, not who you're told to be. So you can book a free call at realityrealization.org/call. Now let's get started with today's episode. Today we have Ryan, a belief engineer who uses hypnosis and powerful mindset tools to help his clients become the person they're truly meant to be. Through deep inner work and subconscious reprogramming, Ryan guides people to release limitations, rewire identity, and step fully into their potential. In this episode, we explore the mechanics of belief, the power of the subconscious mind, and what it really takes to transform from the inside out. All right. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Wonderful. So let's start here with a bit of background, a bit of your roots. Was there a moment in your life or your practice when something just clicked and everything changed? Perhaps a mindset shift or a realization that really reshaped your path?
Man, I could tell there's several. Like number one, I was in my early 20s. I'd gone to college for a couple of years. It just was not working for me. That was not where I was supposed to be. And so I'm like, I've got to get the heck out of Kansas, which is when I joined the Marine Corps. So out the door. Just like, I've got this thing where sometimes stuff lands. I'm like, this has to be done. I just have to do it right then. Right. And that was a beautiful thing for me. Wasn't particularly good at being a Marine. Turns out I have autism, but I didn't find out until I was almost 48. Autistic and Marine is not the best match, right? It just doesn't really work so well. After I got out of the Marines, kind of went back to did the whole college thing. It's like, I cannot do widgets but push numbers. Like I can't, right? I just can't. So threw my resume up online and moved to DC and started working in counterterrorism and counterproliferation for about 16, 17 years as a contractor there. And that was definitely my jam. That was exactly what I was supposed to be doing with my life. You know, I've got a kind of systems engineering mindset. Basically have to reverse engineer everything to figure out how things work in order to make my way through the world, because y'all can't tell me how it works because you don't know. So take that and apply it to that kind of, that world. It's really easy for me to start figuring what's going on and how to make things happen. But around 2019, 2020, I'm realizing the world doesn't want to be saved, so time to move on, because I'm definitely in the longer line of work. And that's when I started in the hypnosis space. And that really caught my attention because of how fast you can make some major changes, right? Like 80, 90% of the stuff we struggle with the most is down in your subconscious mind. And there's really not a lot of tools we have to really get down there, right? Psychedelics and hypnosis are pretty much it. But psychedelics can take you on their own ride. You don't really have control over that. Limits to what you can change while down there. So give me some hypnosis. Let me have access to the back of your head and those skills with 23 years in Intel. You're not hiding. I'm going to figure that stuff out, right? Wow. And that just gives me the capacity to map out what those beliefs actually are, like how they came to be. Because once we understand what it is, then we can take it apart, right? You can't prove something wrong until you understand why it's right. And that's the step that most people don't take. It's like, oh, well, I know that's wrong. Cool. But you do know why it's right. Because if you don't know why it's right, you can't prove it wrong. You can prove something else correct, but you haven't proven this wrong, which is how you end up with kind of two belief systems kind of fighting each other. And that old one's got an entire lifetime of evidence, which is why it keeps on sticking around no matter how much work we do.
Mm-hmm. Wow. It's a very interesting path you undertook to get on the hypnosis route. It's very intriguing.
Yeah, it's a different beast. Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm curious to know, with that experience you had prior, you said you were able to kind of take it with you into the hypnosis endeavor. What were some of the, I guess, ways you're able to apply that maybe allowed you to have sort of an edge in getting through to your clients?
So fundamentally, when I've got somebody in trance, it's about like figuring out what the right question is to ask. And based on what I see, what's the next question and how do I need to put that puzzle together? Because I'm dropping in this say, okay, you can't really let yourself succeed and live the life you want to live. Your mind is trying to solve a problem And this is kind of the unintended outcome of that. It's got a solution. It's kind of messing some stuff up down the road. What's the problem? What's the problem it's trying to solve? Because it knows exactly what it's doing, exactly why it's doing it, knows what it's trying to accomplish. It's just can't understand that second and third order effects, kind of long-term effects of these short-term solutions. So it's just about trying to figure out, okay, what's the problem? And if you start asking the right questions in the right way, you start being able to pull the sucker apart and get some good angles on it, get some good visibility. Well, in the intelligence world, that's what you do. I've got to ask questions to get information, to put the puzzle together, and you don't want me to have the answers. You're trying to hide that stuff, right? And oh, by the way, I can only do this. So I have to throw questions over the wall to somebody else who's got to go out and get the answers, come back and give them to me, and that whole thing, right? So if you spend 23 years doing that, and you transition to I've got access to the back of your head directly where all the answers are, it's cheating. It's cheating. It's absolutely cheating, and I love it, right? But you take that and you've got an entire lifetime of just like reverse engineering everything because you have to. Mm-hmm. Put those things together, and it's just the easiest thing in the world for me to go down and say, all right, poke, got it. Let's play.
Wow, that's awesome. I love hearing that. So with this journey you've gone on through understanding of hypnosis, what are some of the things that are, you could say, common triggers or common mishaps that people undergo that you see pretty often in your work?
Well, I'd say it's best to back up because it's easy to get in the weeds, and actually your mind is kind of looking at the world through two lenses simultaneously. Right and left hemispheres are looking at the forest and the trees. We like to play down here in the trees because that's where the rational mind and the logical mind might play, right? Individual events, tissues, triggers, traumas, right? Nice, easy to identify. But the right side of your brain is the faster part. It's working on pattern matching, right? And pattern matching looks at what's the same, doesn't really care what's different, right? So your mind identified a pattern really young, said, okay, this pattern means this, and I got to react to it this way, and it keeps running. And because we don't look at these, they're a completely different set of beliefs, completely different set of conclusions from a completely different perspective. Fundamentally, if you're growing up in an environment where you can't really get what you need growing up, you come to a couple of very simple conclusions. Number one, you're the problem. Why? Because you keep trying a bunch of stuff and stuff never changes. You're the common denominator, must be it. Number two, you don't have any agency over anything else. That's the only thing you can touch and fix. Mm-hmm. So you start fixing the one thing you've got any control over, whether it's a problem or not. Number two, because there's something wrong with you that I have to fix, you're not good enough. Kind of by definition. If you got to fix something, it means you're broken. Broken things aren't valuable. You're not good enough. Because you're not good enough, number three, you don't deserve. Mm-hmm. Which means number four, you can't get what you need. Can't get what I need, therefore I'm not good enough, therefore must be something wrong with me. The other set is when you're in an environment where you've got a lot of negative emotion, it's kind of chronic, can't really get away from it, can't really escape it. And we're identifying emotions with pain, well, at a certain point that gets to be too much, right? And so now we kind of become a threat to ourselves in a very real way, because if it's pain is too much, we don't want to be here anymore. And that can happen very young. The first time I went in my life, I was 9. Again, autistic, nobody had any idea, nobody could help me. I'm growing up in Kansas in the 70s and 80s. No sport. There was no way anybody could help me. Just no way. There's no possible way. But what that means is now your mind has to protect your life from you. So it has to shape your life to minimize the triggers and emotional pain. So whatever those ideas about who you are that you don't like, it's got to keep you away from situations, it's got to push those buttons. So you take those two things combined, something wrong with me, not good enough, don't deserve, can't have, combined with I have to avoid the pain that references any stuff, that's going to show you about every single possible trigger you can have. Mm-hmm. Now, everybody's story is different. Little ideas that you have about why you are the way you are different, so different situations are going to trigger people differently. But if you just look at it from that perspective, from the kind of high-level perspective, that's the whole place everybody gets to. Your story is unique. The ending is pretty much the same. Mm-hmm. Everything pretty much rhymes.
Wow. That's really interesting. That's very interesting. Because personally, I've undergone like a self-development journey and have learned a bit about the inner workings of my own mind, but to kind of see it from that framework of like it all kind of rhymes with pattern recognition, and once you see the pattern, you can kind of unravel it in a sense. Is very very nice. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is like when you're looking at it from that perspective, if I can go from there's something wrong with me to there's nothing wrong with me, well, that changes a lot of stuff. Yeah. I can go from I'm not good enough to I am good enough, that changes a lot of stuff. Right? So it's like if you've got a big box in your head and the label on the side says I'm not good enough, there's a million things in that box, right? Typical approach, take stuff out, stick it in a different box, and that works. Clear out some space, things are easier, get some breathing room, but there's a million things in the box, and more stuff gets added every day. So that process never ends. Healing is a lifelong journey. There's a label on the box, and it says I'm not good enough. So why not just take off that label, put on a new label that says I'm good enough. Everything in the box means I'm good enough now, because it's all just meaning that we assign to things. We see conclusions we draw about what things mean. Oh, this happened. It must mean I'm not good enough. I got to move through the world a certain way. Oh, this thing happened. Doesn't have anything to do with me. That means I can move through the world in a very different way. So if we take a look at those, and again, we're assigning these meanings when we're really young. We don't understand the world in a particularly sophisticated way. There's no way we can understand, oh, it's the environment, not me, when I can't get what I need. Grew up in an abusive household, can't understand that that's not you. They're just messed up and that's just going to happen. Doesn't matter what you do. There's no way you can understand that. So when you're creating your understanding of the world in that kind of environment, when you can't get what you need, when there's a lot of chaos, of course you're going to come to these different conclusions. But because we're not looking at it from that pattern perspective, because we're not getting down to that deep level and saying, what is truth? Why is this the way it is? Mapping out those beliefs, they keep playing out. But once you get down there and start playing it in that way, easiest thing in the world to shift.
Wow, I love that. Something I'm curious to know is
Mm-hmm.
when doing this work and working with clients, what are some of the outcomes that people are seeking,
Mm,
and how does that differ than the outcomes that they actually receive? Because
yeah.
from what I see, sometimes there's the experience that someone's seeking a particular outcome from doing this work, but a lot of times
Mm-hmm.
a different outcome that's actually a little better for them.
So, people come to me with all kinds of different issues where it's like, okay, I've been doing a lot of work and I know like it's like, why am I not done yet? There's
Mhm.
people come to me, it's like my relationships are just not where they need to be. People are like, oh, I'm kicking butt in business, but it's like, why don't I feel the fulfillment I should? Or like, why can't I just stop pushing the goalpost further and further and further? Why do I keep need to running up the number? Right? Why is it never enough? Or I can't. It's like I got a million ideas and I can't pull the trigger and I can't follow through. Right? But all those are just situations where you're like, okay, you're not good enough, you don't deserve. That's pretty much it. Nothing wrong with you. Not good enough, don't deserve, can't handle it, you should have at it. So I do a very specific process and I take people to a very specific set of beliefs. And that set of beliefs is number one, there's nothing wrong with me and there never was. Number two, there is nothing to heal and there never was. Emotions are not pain, they don't come from wounds or trauma. And negative emotions are questions. They're your mind asking you for help to solve a problem. Nothing more, nothing less. Number three, I am good enough as I am to deserve whatever I choose. And number four, I don't have to prove it to anybody, not even myself, and nobody can prove me wrong.
Mhm.
That covers about 90% of everything you got to do. That if that's your base filter on reality, if that is a fundamental understanding of yourself and the world that you're using to navigate life, that covers a lot of ground, right? And after that, everything else is a heck of a lot easier. We've got all kinds of different ways to like meditation and journaling and task management and planning systems and all this other stuff, right?
Mhm.
We got all these different conscious and rational frameworks to deal with. Great. Let's clear out the parts of the mind that we can't do so that everything's lined up. So now every part of your mind is working on the same sheet of music, same page. I ain't the problem. How do I get what I need in the world? That's the only question I need to ask. What do I need to do to get what I want out there?
Really just allowing someone to remove the weight that is on them, that thing that's holding them back from being
Yeah.
aligned in the direction that they need to go in.
Yeah.
And once you
Think
remove
about
all of
like,
that,
yeah, well, it's like I look at the mind being like you have a conscious, irrational, and emotional and instinctive layer of mind, right? Got all kinds of stuff we can do to play conscious and rational level. Don't have a lot of tools to play down that emotional instinctive, right?
Mhm.
And when you're thinking emotions or pain, been through a lot, they're kind of collapsed. There's pretty much one thing. So you got to separate those two. But just like, if you think about like, chakras and stuff like that, you're kind of clearing out and aligning everything so everything flows, doing the same thing. You're just like clearing out every the stuff that's in the way so that everything's flowing smoothly through all those levels, right? So that the true you can come through,
Yeah.
so that who you really are can be what you need it to be, so you can express it in the world the way you want to, so you can move through the world the way you want to, so you can do the things you're supposed to be doing for you as opposed to playing the game everybody says you should play. If
Yeah.
I'm stuck running up the numbers, trying to put points on the board, earning a bunch of money because that's the way I'm keeping score, I can't do the right thing for the right reason. Right? I'm doing that because I feel insecure and not good enough, so I have to be, fix that insecurity by running up a high number. So when I'm not insecure anymore, now I don't have to run up the score. Now I can do something different. I can do something for impact. I can do something complete. Like I could just like, oh, I want to go actually be a surfer in Hawaii for the rest of my life. Okay, do that. Like if that's you, then do that, right? If that's supposed to be instead of like running, be a CEO of a company, then go do that, right? If you're supposed to run a nonprofit and save the whales or whatever, you should be doing that rather than doing this other thing. And that's possible when you clear that crap out and align yourself so you don't have that negative opinion of yourself and all that stuff that kind of created it in the way.
Hmm.
You're good enough. You're fine. You're not the problem. You're not wounded. Go deal with your life as your way you're supposed to be. That's how it should be in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I'm curious, how has this work impacted your own personal journey? Have you like used hypnosis for your own experience?
Well, unfortunately, this work you really can't do for yourself, which is
Really?
frustrating. If your mind has to protect you from yourself, then that means it doesn't trust you, right?
Hmm.
So why would it let you change it? If it's trying to protect you from yourself, that means that every change you want to make are to allow yourself to do stuff it thinks are bad, wrong, or dangerous in some way. So why would it let you change it?
Hmm.
Unbelievable. Like I knew exactly what was wrong, exactly what it was, exactly how to fix it. My mind said, nope, not allowed. So I had to find other people that could use their tools to fix me in a process that nobody else understands or uses.
Yeah.
Not easy, right? But fundamentally, your consciousness is like the CEO of a company, right? And everybody else is on strike and they're union, so you can't fire them, right?
Hmm.
Negotiations are broken down. Nobody's talking. So what do you have to do? You have to hire a third party negotiator to sit down and say, all right, cool. Tell me what the hell's going on. Because you think you're right, and neither of you are right. What the heck is going on? And actually negotiate a new solution. And that's the thing. It's not about programming new beliefs. It's about figuring out what the old belief was and creating a new solution, creating a new understanding that everyone can agree on. I
Hmm.
can't force you to do anything in hypnosis. It's a voluntary state, right? And the party of mind that's in control is a party of mind that's been protecting you as your moral compass and everything else. I ain't gonna let me mess with you, right? So it's like,
Hmm.
okay, cool. Understood these ways, these things before this way. Great. Can we understand it this way? Is this a flat wash? Great. Well, if we can do this, then that leads to this, right? Cool. Which opens this door, right? Cool. So we can agree to move forward this way? Awesome. Any part of your life not on board with that? Great. Show me. Great. Can we handle it this way? Is everybody on board now? Perfect. Let's roll. But it's a process of exploration and negotiation,
Hmm.
right? But yeah, hypnosis is so powerful. You can do so many different things with it. But for me, having that ability to open up the door to your back of your mind and say, show me the truth, whatever it is, show me the truth, right? Let me understand what's really going on so I can change it and fix it and get everything aligned and everybody on the same page of music so you can start freaking living your life as opposed to doing whatever silly stuff you're doing just to kind of keep yourself going.
Hmm. Yeah. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. So then inside of this process,
Hmm.
undergoing this journey, you
Hmm.
mentioned a few times how seeing these changes allows someone to live their true self. Does this
Yes.
allow you to have sort of a sense of mission or an impact focus in your own work for hypnosis?
For me, yeah, like fundamentally, for a while there, my mission was like, I gotta, basically save the world, right? Because part of the whole idea of turning emotions from pain into question is like, okay, not only do you not have any wounds to heal anymore, not only do you not trauma, it says you can't be wounded or traumatized again. You can't suffer mentally or emotionally.
Mm.
Emotions are pain. You cannot suffer mentally or emotionally, which means that I can make it so somebody can't suffer, which means that the entire planet is suffering until I help them. But I was like, I gotta save the world, right? It's like, no, 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 Ryan. You can't have that kind of obligation and put that kind of pressure on yourself if people have to opt in to the process. They have to want this. They have to be willing to do this work, and it's kind of hard. So right now, it's like, cool. I'm going to put this out as an opportunity. Here's a tool you can use to finally get all this stuff that's stuck that you can't get to any other way out of your way, so you can be you. No idea who you're going to be after that. Not my problem. Not your problem. You'll figure it out. And I kind of don't care because whatever it is, you're going to be doing something more useful in line than you are now. So it's like, cool. Let's figure out who wants to play. And I've got something cool. It's kind of unique. Does some stuff that I haven't seen anywhere else that creates some interesting opportunities. Who wants to play? Because the people who want to play are the ones that are most curious and most interested and most want to grow and most want to be their true self, which means they probably have something important they want to offer the world.
Yeah.
Those are kind of people who want to help because whatever they do is going to be really interesting and probably going to help a lot of other people. So the more I help them get further, then the more they can help other people get further. And it's a beautiful fractal impact in the world
Yeah.
just by helping the people that want to do cool things and can't.
Hmm.
I'm going to do fun, cool stuff with interesting people for the rest of my life. It's awesome. I don't have to do anything better than just be me.
Love that. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. I love that. So then in your journey with hypnosis, you mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
because you have practiced this is like one of the key modalities.
Mm-hmm.
Have you practiced anything else or researched into any others and kind of what?
Oh, I've tried pretty much everything else under the sun. Like about the only thing didn't use to fix my mind was acupuncture. Like, I've done the therapy and the CBT. I've done meditation, Buddhist meditation, been down at seventh jhana where you're like consciousness floating in nothingness, which is an interesting experience. Done most of the psychedelics, except for ayahuasca and iboga. Done energy healing. Done tantra was a big thing for me. Had a full-on kundalini awakening the first time I did MDMA. I did coaching retreats and entrepreneurship retreats and this, that, and the other. I did pretty much everything. And the thing is that everything helps. everything helps. Pretty much everything will move the needle, right? But none of it could really fix things. I could still see the same problems popping up in different ways. I'm like, okay, that's a problem because I'm autistic and I can't lie to myself and I can't pretend that better equals fixed. Y'all get to do that, bake it till you make it. I can't. It's so annoying. So I sat down and said, okay, how do these things actually work? What are the first principles? What are the assumptions that these things are running on that create the left and right limits of what you can do with it? Because as soon as I can understand that, then I can see where the gaps are. I could see why this didn't give me this result that it was supposed to. And that's what really led me down the path of hypnosis. Like it's all subconscious mind stuff that's still stuck. Got all kinds of stuff to do on the emotional body, right? You got the somatic releases, breath work, that kind of stuff. You got all kinds of stuff you can do on the energetic body, right? Got all sorts of stuff you can do from a neurochemical, physiological space, right? You take all kinds of supplements, make your mind do all kinds of crazy things, right? But when it comes down to fixing what things mean, really hard to get there from anywhere else. And that's what your emotional mind is. This is a meaning-making machine. It's the party that figures out what stuff actually means. Fair enough. And until you can get down there and play with it directly, that stuff kind of stays stuck. Again, psychedelics, hypnosis, the only ways to get down there. Psychedelics can't let you do targeted work, so hypnosis has got to be the tool. Fair enough. How do I make this thing do what I need it to do? And so since this is the thing where, I use it in ways that other people don't, it's my special sauce, my zone of genius, I'm going to do this. Why? Because if you come to me, I fix this, I send you out the door, go do something else. Because the other problems you have can probably be fixed with other tools better. And there's other people out there that are better at using them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Come sit down, let me do brain surgery, go away. You need something else now. Right? Why not? I'm that kind of guy that wants to sit there and work with somebody for years because you don't want to be working for years. You want this done. You want this fixed. You want to be able to move on with your life. So why waste time?
Well, this has been such a powerful conversation. Thank you for
Thank you.
sharing so openly about the nature of the work you do, how it helps, the processes and structures of it.
Mm-hmm.
Something I like to do at the end of these episodes is to ask if you had to give one insight to those out there trying to reach a new level of life while being fulfilled while they do so, what would you share with those out there?
There is only one question you have to ask. What am I missing? If you're right about what was going on and how things worked, you'll be getting certain results, and you're not. Therefore, you're wrong. You don't know how or about what. So step back and go, okay, cool. What am I missing here? Because something doesn't line up, something's not working. Just start questioning how stuff works. Because pretty soon, like your mind is trying to show you what the problem is. So once you get curious, say, all right, what am I missing? You're going to start going down some rabbit holes. That's going to lead you to some information. You're going to figure out, this thing, and then you'll be off to races. Single, most important, most effective question you can ask to get yourself moving again.
That's peak. What's missing?
Yeah.
Okay.
What am I missing? What am I missing?
Perfect.
That's all I got to ask.
Well, before we wrap, where can listeners connect with you and learn more about what you're doing and potentially work with you?
Sure. So first thing I'd say is I've written a book called Winner Peace, How to End Inner Conflict and Make Success Inevitable. It's available on Amazon, all the different formats. Start there. It lays out everything I do, the entire structure of the brain and the mind and how beliefs work and all that stuff. And to the extent that I can get you those 4 beliefs in a book format, I'm just trying to get you as much as I can. If you're ready to do that one-on-one work, just dive in deep, because it's knocked out so you don't have to worry about it anymore. My website is www.ryanthehypnotist.com. I offer free 45-minute consultations. Sit down, take a look at what's not working in your life. I'll be able to show you why things are working the way they are, why other stuff hasn't fixed you, and we can talk about a way to get you through that set of beliefs. Nothing wrong with me, nothing to heal, good enough, don't have to prove it.
Well, thanks again for Ryan to come on the show and share such real and thoughtful perspectives about mind consciousness and how this wiring works so that you can rewire it and really align to your truth. And to all of you out there tuning in, remember, you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. So if you want to change your results, start by becoming the version of you who already has them. This is the Mindful Hustle. Until next time, be bold, be intentional, and keep realizing your reality.